Hi, welcome to lesson 3. And before I move into some thoughts about lesson 3, I just want to thank all of you for your wonderful participation. We've had lively activity in the discussion forum. We have a whole collection of wonderful flip grids that have been posted. People are on the Google Map, and we've had several of the Hangouts with more to come. And I know you all are in your groups doing the project and using video chat yourselves. So we're delighted with your participation and the ideas that are being generated. And earlier today, I was with a group of educators in another space, and I found myself talking about all of you and brought up the idea of the flipped faculty meeting. So thank you so much for your participation. And here we go, lesson 3. And again, you can always go back to 2 and 1. You can go back and look at all the flip grids more, or if you haven't been there, I will add that in our midst, we do have a Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master, and you have to watch the flip grids to find out who played this incredibly important role during early years of this person's life. So thanks so much. Now, lesson 3, we're going to look at assessments, and we're going to do a lot of reading about assessments and thinking about assessments. And of course, we're going to be thinking about, how do you assess students in online spaces and using online tools, which I'm hoping will push all of you or enable all of you to think in new ways and to come out of this with some new thoughts that and some new strategies and some new projects and some new things that you might do in your classes. We will start though just really looking at the question of what does it mean to assess, and part of our big hope here is to have you thinking about assessment as both an instructional tool and an evaluative tool, of course. And it's interesting, when I was thinking about this lesson and moving you into this part of the course, I remembered work I had done a couple years back. I helped for quite a while, over a year, with a charter school that was starting up, and we came up with 3 questions that they seem unbelievably simple, and we constructed them as we were building the program to help us just have clarity as we made decisions about what kids were going to do in their courses. And they were as follows: 1, what do we want students to know? 2, how will we know when they've learned those things that we've determined we want them to know? And then our third question was, what will we do when we discover that some of them or all of them or a few of them haven't learned what it is we decided we wanted them to know? So I throw those out there now just as a way of starting our thinking about assessment. And I know that all of you have lots of experience with assessment, and you are every single day thinking about formative and summative assessments and using a lot of different things with your students to evaluate and to instruct. I also will throw out the Grant Wiggins begin with the end in mind, and you will have a project in this 3rd lesson in which you will have the opportunity to take a lot of the different ideas and the thinking that we've been doing and that you've brought from other places too, and come up with an assessment. And we talk about it being an assessment that you will make for a fictitious online course, because we want you to think about how would you build an assessment in that kind of a educational setting. But we also want you to focus your energy on something that will be particularly useful and practical and worthwhile for exactly what you do in your schools. So as you think about the project, please know that we'd love for it to be something that will be, that you can use. I also know that some of you have roles in your schools that may not be primarily in the classroom. So there's absolutely room to figure out what your final project can be, and to have it be meaningful for the responsibilities that you navigate every day. And frankly, our discussion forum had some wonderful ideas about There was one about the flipped faculty meeting, and someone said, oh, I want to try this as a flipped department meeting. And then there was another suggestion about online professional development, like mini classes that a school could do. So I toss those out right now as a way of just suggesting some of the ideas that you all have generated that might actually make sense for some of you to take up and explore much more specifically during this final project. All right, welcome to lesson 3, and we are in certainly the home stretch. We have a lot to do still, and feel free to keep going around in the course and participating in the discussion forums, but carry on, and I will look forward to connecting with all of you in our class. Thank you.